Baby, before you continue scrolling, please give me just 2 minutes. I am not asking for your sympathy. I am not asking you to feel sorry for me. I am only asking you to listen because there is something I have been carrying inside my heart for a long time. Something I should have told you much earlier. You may not realize it, but your presence has changed my life in ways you could never imagine. Before I met you, I believed I had to face everything alone. I smiled when I was hurting. I stayed silent when I needed someone to understand me. I carried burdens that I never spoke about, not because I was strong, but because I didn't want to become a burden to anyone else. Then you came into my life. You didn't solve every problem. You didn't make life perfect. But somehow you made life feel lighter. Your words gave me hope. Your kindness gave me peace. Your presence reminded me that even during difficult days I wasn't completely alone. That is why I need you, not because I cannot live without you, but because life becomes more meaningful when someone truly understands your heart. I don't need perfection. I don't need expensive gifts. I don't need promises that sound beautiful but disappear with time. I need honesty. I need loyalty. I need someone who stays kind even when life becomes difficult. Someone who chooses understanding before anger. Someone who protects trust instead of breaking it. That is what I see in you, and that is why you are so important to me. There is something else I want to confess. Whenever something good happens, my first thought is to tell you. Whenever something difficult happens, I wish you were beside me. Not because you have all the answers, but because your presence makes my heart feel calm. That feeling is rare, and when you find something rare in this world, you protect it. So if you ever wonder why I care so much, why I pray for you, why I worry about your happiness, why I always hope you are smiling, the answer is simple because you became part of my heart without asking for permission. And once someone reaches that place, they are never ordinary again. That is why I need you, baby. After telling you why I need you, I kept asking myself one question. What if I had never met you? I tried to imagine what my life would look like. Maybe I would still wake up every morning, go to work, smile at people, finish my responsibilities, and pretend that everything was fine. But deep inside, something would always be missing. Not because you completed me. Only Allah can truly complete a heart, but because you reminded me that life becomes more beautiful when it is shared with someone who genuinely cares. Before you came into my life, I had learned how to hide my feelings. Whenever I was hurt, I stayed silent. Whenever I was disappointed, I smiled. Whenever I was afraid, I told everyone I was fine. It became a habit. People believed I was strong. The truth was, I was simply afraid that no one would understand. Then you listened, not only to my words, but to my silence. You noticed the moments when my smile was different. You noticed when my voice became quieter. You noticed when my heart was carrying more than my lips could explain. That is a gift very few people have. Many people hear us, very few truly understand us. That is why you became so important to me. You never needed grand speeches. Sometimes one simple question from you, "Are you really okay?" meant more than 1,000 beautiful words from anyone else, because it showed me that someone cared enough to look beyond the smile. Baby, life has taught me that everything in this world can change. Money comes and goes, success comes and goes, people enter our lives and sometimes leave without warning. Even our strongest plans can change in a single moment. But there are certain people who leave such a deep impact on our hearts that they continue inspiring us long after ordinary moments have passed. You became one of those people, not because you tried to impress me, not because you promised me the world, but because you were sincere, and sincerity is one of the rarest qualities a person can possess. Do you know what I admire most about you? It is not your appearance, it is not your achievements, it is your heart, the way you care about others, the way you forgive, the way you continue believing in goodness even after being disappointed, the way you remain kind in a world that often rewards selfishness, those qualities are more valuable than anything money could ever buy. Baby, there were nights when I prayed for guidance. I asked Allah to remove anything from my life that would take me away from Him, and I asked Him to keep the people who brought peace, sincerity, and goodness closer to my heart. Every time I made that prayer, I silently thanked Allah for bringing you into my life, because meeting you reminded me that beautiful souls still exist. It reminded me that kindness is never wasted. It reminded me that genuine love is built on respect, trust, and patience, not on perfect moments. If one day life tests us, if misunderstandings come, if distance separates us for a while, promise me something. Promise that we will never let pride become stronger than honesty. Promise that we will speak with kindness even when we disagree. Promise that we will remember the reasons our hearts chose each other in the first place. Because relationships are not protected by beautiful beginnings, they are protected by sincere hearts that continue choosing respect every single day. Baby, there is one final confession I have been keeping inside. The truth is, I do not need you because I am weak. I need you because you inspire me to become a better person. You remind me to be patient. You remind me to be grateful. You remind me to pray more sincerely. You remind me to appreciate the blessings Allah has placed in my life. That is the greatest gift anyone can give another person, to inspire goodness, to encourage faith, to bring peace instead of confusion. And that is exactly what you have done for me. So, if you ever ask me again, "Why do you need me?" my answer will always be the same. Because your kindness made my heart stronger. Your honesty gave me hope. Your presence reminded me that Allah sometimes sends beautiful people into our lives, not to make life perfect, but to make the journey easier, and for that I will always be grateful. My love, if you have stayed with me until this final page, then thank you. Thank you for listening to every word. Thank you for giving my heart a chance to speak. There is one last thing I need you to know. Perhaps the most important thing of all. Many people think that needing someone is a sign of weakness. I used to believe that too. I thought I had to carry every burden alone. I thought asking for support meant I was not strong enough. I thought hiding my emotions made me brave. But life taught me something different. Real strength is not pretending that nothing hurts. Real strength is having the courage to be honest, to admit when your heart is tired, to say, I need someone to understand me, and to trust another person enough to let them see the parts of you that the rest of the world never sees. That is why I need you, not because you complete my life. Only Allah can do that. Not because I cannot survive without you. Life goes on, and every soul ultimately depends on Allah. I need you because you remind me of the kind of person I want to become. When I see your patience, I want to become more patient. When I see your kindness, I want to become kinder. When I see your faith during difficult moments, I remember to strengthen my own faith. That is the influence of a beautiful heart. It quietly changes the hearts around it. There is another truth I have never shared. Sometimes I worry about the future, not because I fear tomorrow, but because I know that nothing in this world is guaranteed. Time moves quickly, people grow older, circumstances change, dreams change, life changes. That is why I never want to leave important words unsaid. If tomorrow were different, I would regret every feeling I kept hidden. So today I choose honesty. I choose gratitude. I choose to tell you exactly what my heart has carried for so long. You have made my life richer, not with money, but with meaning. You have taught me that love is found in ordinary moments, in sincere conversations, in quiet prayers, in patient understanding, in choosing respect even when emotions are high. These are the things that last. These are the things that build a love capable of surviving life's storms. My love, if one day you feel that nobody notices your efforts, remember this. I noticed. If one day you believe your kindness has no value, remember this. It changed someone's life. If one day you question whether your presence matters, remember this. Your presence brought peace to a heart that once felt lost. Never underestimate the impact of simple goodness. The world often celebrates loud achievements, but Allah also knows every hidden act of kindness, every sincere prayer, every sacrifice made for the sake of love and compassion. Nothing is ever lost with Him. That is why I ask you to protect your heart, protect your relationship with Allah, protect your honesty, protect your character, because beauty fades, wealth changes, fame disappears, but a beautiful character continues to shine long after everything else has changed. If life ever separates us, if distance ever becomes part of our story, if circumstances take us onto different roads, I pray that we both remain grateful for the chapter Allah allowed us to share. Not every story is measured by how long it lasts. Some stories become unforgettable because of how deeply they change us. You changed me, but because loving you felt natural. But life has a strange way of testing the things we love the most. Slowly, something started changing. Your messages became shorter. Your laughter started disappearing from our conversations. The same person who once couldn't stay away from me for long started becoming distant. At first, I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe you were just busy. Maybe life had become stressful. But deep inside my heart, I could feel something slipping away. And one evening, I found myself asking a question I never wanted to ask. Am I still special to? The silence that followed felt heavier than any answer, because sometimes silence tells you the truth that your heart isn't ready to hear. That night I looked at the sky for a long time, thinking about everything we had shared, and I realized something painful. You were still special to me, but maybe I was no longer special too, and that thought hurt more than anything else, because the hardest thing in love is realizing the person who means the world to you might not feel the same anymore. And standing there in the quiet night with memories filling my mind, I whispered softly to myself, no matter what happens, you will always be someone special to me. After that night, something inside my heart refused to stay quiet. I kept replaying our memories again and again. Every laugh, every late night conversation, every moment when you made my world feel lighter. It was hard to accept that the same connection that once felt so strong was now slowly fading. Days passed, but the distance between us kept growing. Your messages that once arrived instantly started coming hours later, sometimes even days. And when they finally came, they felt different, short, cold, like the warmth between us had quietly disappeared. But my heart didn't want to believe it. Love has a strange habit of holding on even when everything else is letting go. So I kept trying. I asked about your day. I tried to make you laugh like before, shared little stories just to keep the conversation alive. But slowly I realized something painful. I was the only one trying, and that realization felt like watching something beautiful slowly fall apart in front of your eyes. One evening, I finally gathered the courage to ask you something honest. Did something change between us? For a moment, there was silence, the kind of silence that makes your heart beat louder. Reply came. You said, no, nothing changed. But deep inside, I knew the truth. Because sometimes people say nothing has changed, even when everything has. I didn't argue. I didn't ask more questions. Instead, I just stared at the screen. for a long time, remembering the person you used to be with me, the person who once said, I am really happy you came into my life, the person who once stayed awake late at night just to keep talking to. Where did that person go? That question stayed in my mind for days, and slowly I started understanding something. Sometimes people don't stop caring all at once. They drift away little by little, invisibly, until one day you suddenly realize the connection you once shared no longer exists. But even after understanding this, my heart still refused to let you go, because no matter how distant you became, you were still special too, and loving someone special, the heart forgets easily. One night I looked through our old messages, scrolling through conversations filled with laughter and happiness, reading words that once meant everything. And as I reached the beginning of our story, a strange feeling filled my chest. It felt like looking at a beautiful dream, a dream that had already ended. But the hardest part wasn't losing the conversations. The hardest part was realizing I was slowly losing you still, even in that painful moment. My heart whispered the same truth again. No matter how far you go, you will always be someone special to me. After that night, I stopped asking questions, not because I didn't care anymore, but because sometimes the heart finally understands something the mind refuses to accept. You had already started walking away, and no matter how tightly I tried to hold on, love cannot survive when only one person is fighting for it. Days slowly turned into weeks. Our conversations almost disappeared. The person who once felt like my whole world had now become just a quiet memory in my phone. But the strange thing about love is this: even when someone leaves your life, they don't leave your heart. Immediately, I still found myself thinking about you when I heard a song we once talked about, when the night became too quiet, when memory started whispering your name. Sometimes I would even smile, remembering the way you left, and sometimes I would just sit silently, missing the person who once meant everything to me. But honestly, some feelings don't disappear. They simply become quieter. They hide deep inside the heart. And then suddenly, on nights like this, they return. Tonight, I was looking at old conversations, old memories, old moments that once made me smile, and for a few minutes it felt like nothing had changed. It felt like you were still here. It felt like life was still beautiful. Then reality returned, and so did the sadness. My sweetheart, do you know what hurts the most? It's not the distance. It's not the silence. It's not even the goodbye. It's knowing that there are so many things I still wish I could tell you. So many moments I wish I could share with you. So many times I wish I could hear your voice one more time. Sometimes I imagine what I would say if you suddenly appeared in front of me. Honestly, I wouldn't talk about the pain. I wouldn't talk about the tears. I wouldn't talk about the loneliness. I would simply smile and say, I've missed you because no matter how much time passes, no matter how much life changes, that truth remains the same. I miss you. I miss the way you made ordinary days feel special. I miss the happiness your presence brought into my life. I miss the version of myself that existed when you were around. My sweetheart, if you're happy now, then I pray that happiness never leaves you. If you're smiling now, then I pray that smile lasts forever. And if life is difficult for you right now, then I pray Allah eases every burden from your heart, because even after everything, your happiness still matters to me. And tonight, before I close my eyes again, I have one final confession. The world may never know, the stars may never know, even you may never know, but my heart knows, and my heart still whispers the same words every night. I'm missing you so much, my sweetheart. My sweetheart, this is probably the last time I will write these words. The last time I will let my heart speak without hiding anything. The last time I will tell you how much I truly miss you. Tonight, the world feels quiet. The stars are shining. The moon is beautiful. But none of them can fill the empty place your memory left inside my heart. My sweetheart, I never imagined missing someone could hurt this much. I never imagined a memory could feel so alive. I never imagined a name could still make my heart stop for a moment. Yet here I am, still thinking about you, still praying for you, still missing you. Sometimes I ask myself, what if things had been different? What if life had given us another chance? What if our story had continued? But honestly, those questions have no answers. The past cannot return, the clock cannot move backwards, and some stories remain unfinished forever. My sweetheart, do you know what I miss the most? Not the conversations, not the messages, not even the beautiful moments. I miss the feeling of knowing someone cared, the feeling of happiness your presence brought into my life, the feeling that everything would somehow be okay. There were nights when I stayed awake thinking about you, nights when your memory felt closer than reality, nights when I wanted to send a message but knew I couldn't, nights when my heart whispered your name while my lips remained silent. And honestly, if I could tell you one thing tonight, it wouldn't be about my pain. It wouldn't be about my tears. It wouldn't be about my loneliness. I would simply say, thank you. Thank you for every smile. Thank you for every memory. Thank you for every moment that made my heart believe in something beautiful. Because even though our story didn't end the way I hoped, you became a chapter I will never forget. A chapter filled with emotions, a chapter filled with dreams, a chapter filled with love. My sweetheart, maybe one day I will stop looking back. Maybe one day the pain will completely disappear. Maybe one day your memory will make me smile more than it makes me cry.